The European Parliament considers the scenario of a collapse in Brexit talks and cuts Turkey's EU pre-accession funds. MEPs approve funding for free Interrail tickets for young Europeans. MEPs vote to introduce an electronic entry-exit system to replace manual passport checks. And the Parliament sets its position on improved EU rules for posted workers.
Hello and welcome to our roundup of the European Parliament's latest plenary session here in Strasbourg. Let's begin with the discussions on the EU's position on Brexit and Turkey.
During the plenary debate, EPP Group Chairman Manfred Weber pointed out that Brexit negotiations have not yet delivered sufficient progress.
First, about Brexit, we have unity thanks to the engagement of all of the leading figures and personalities. We underlined that there is no sufficient progress. We clarified that there is no cherry-picking possible. We are preparing a scenario for leaving without an agreement.
Speaking about the possible future EU-UK agreement, he said,
"We are ready for a kind of a transitional period, but I have now already to clarify that we cannot accept that a country outside of the European Union will have the same conditions and the same status like a country inside of the European Union."
European Council President Donald Tusk explained what lies ahead regarding Brexit talks.
It is in fact up to London how this will end, with a good deal, no deal, or no Brexit. But in each of these scenarios, we will protect our common interest only by being together.
In relation to Turkey, EU member states recently decided on a €20 million reduction in pre-accession funds for 2018 because the country is not putting in place agreed democratic reforms. Mr. Weber gave his view on that move.
Wir begrüßen als EVP-Fraktion die Kürzung der Beitrittshilfen, gezielt deutlich machen, dass uns die Entwicklung in der Türkei beunruhigt und besorgt.
MEPs want deeper cuts in Turkey's accession funds than EU member states have agreed. They are calling for a reduction of at least €50 million and possibly another €30 million if Turkey does not meet particular EU criteria. EPP Group MEP Siegfried Mureşan explained what MEPs voted for.
We are going to cut by 50 million the funding to Turkey, to the line which is supposed to fund political reforms, because what we are seeing now in Turkey is the very opposite of political reforms in the European definition. And even more, on top of this, we're going to put 30 million euros in reserve, which means if, and this is the clear message to Mr. Erdogan and the regime in Ankara, if they are going to comply with European standards, we are going to make these 30 million available. If they won't comply, we are not going to make it available.
Next, the debate on the EU's budget for 2018. MEPs voted for funding for free Interrail tickets for young Europeans.
MEPs approved €12 million of funding for 2018 so that young Europeans can benefit from a free Interrail ticket to travel around Europe. If successful, the new programme could be extended until 2020 and beyond. Mr. Mureşan wrote the report that MEPs have approved in plenary.
We will allocate a free 30-day Interrail ticket to every young European which turns 18. We wanted to start on the 1st of June 2018, just before summer holidays, to give people the opportunity to get to know Europe, visit new countries, use the foreign languages which they have learned in school, gather international experience, prepare them for an eventual Erasmus scholarship, for a job abroad, prepare them to embrace Europe.
Next, the EU is looking to speed up and strengthen checks at EU borders.
MEPs have voted to introduce an electronic entry-exit system to replace manual passport checks at the external borders of EU countries that are in the Schengen area. The new system will register travel history data on non-EU travellers coming into the EU for stays of up to 90 days. The information will be shared with all external border control points to stop illegal entries and track overstays. The aim is to roll out the system by 2020. Dimitris Avramopoulos, the EU Commissioner for Migration and Home Affairs, told MEPs why the Commission had proposed the entry-exit system.
In order to ensure that the Schengen area of free movement is sustainable and secure, it is essential that we effectively manage, protect and secure our external borders. That we have full knowledge of who comes in.
EPP Group MEP Agustín Díaz de Mera drafted the European Parliament's report on this issue. He explained the two core objectives of the new system in plenary.
En primer lugar, mejorar la gestión de las fronteras exteriores y prevenir la inmigración irregular y facilitar la gestión de los flujos migratorios. Y dos, contribuir a la prevención, detección e investigación de delitos terroristas y de otros delitos penales graves. Este segundo objetivo es también crucial, ya que ayudará a detectar criminales con múltiples identidades falsas, como fue el caso del terrorista que atentó en el mercadillo navideño de Berlín, que había entrado y salido de nuestras fronteras con 15 identidades diferentes.
And finally, the European Parliament has agreed its position on improved EU rules for workers temporarily posted abroad.
The EU is updating a directive on posted workers to ensure fair competition across the EU between service providers and to guarantee the rights of workers when they are temporarily employed in another EU country. What sort of new rules will this amended EU law introduce? EPP Group MEP Elizabeth Morin-Chartier, who will take part in detailed future negotiations about the directive between MEPs and EU member states, explains.
La révision de la directive sur les travailleurs détachés porte d'abord sur la sanctuarisation de la rémunération. Ça veut dire que la feuille de salaire du travailleur détaché va être exactement la même, avec les mêmes lignes que la feuille de salaire du travailleur national. Salaire minimum, plus les bonus qui sont liés à ce salaire. Elle aidera à combattre le dumping social si chaque État membre peut s'appuyer sur elle pour faire les contrôles nécessaires.
The next step will be for MEPs to start negotiating with EU member states on these rules. So that's it for the October plenary session here in Strasbourg. Find out more about the activities of the largest political force in the European Parliament by checking out eppgroup.eu. Thanks for watching and see you next time.